So I just finished playing Kirby, Dreamland 2, and I was like, let me see if there's a copy ability tier list. So I made one because that's me. I made one because why the heck not? I wanted to like rank all the powers here. So I got all regular Kirby. I got Rick powers, Ku powers, and Kind powers. And I'm gonna do a tier list because why not? So regular, suck in, spit out star, A. It's very versatile. You can. It's Kirby's default. You can kill almost any enemy. Um, can't do Scarfies. Bad side is you have to wait for enemy attacks to, you know, throw you something to spit them back out. Spit something back out for you to use. So it's very versatile. Pretty standard. Umbrella is super cute. It allows you to float, even though Kirby can fly. And it protects your top, and no, it's just cool, fun power. Burning is definitely S tier. It is such a cool movement ability. You're invulnerable when you're doing it. You just have to worry about like the couple frames after you've gone through your burst. It's like a Mega Man X2 charge fire. It's great. It's just I have nothing to complain about this, and it's a movement ability. You just plow right through shit. Stone, let's go C. It's good. You can only hit stuff below you, but it's fun. The only reason it's a C and not a D is because it's fun and it can roll down hills and stuff. Cutter is definitely S tier again. It's so fun. It's so little. You just throw a cutter. It doesn't go that far across the screen, but you can hit it pretty rapidly, and you can do it in the air and have decent maneuverability. And if you throw it backwards, you could just hit a bunch of shit behind you. Or if you're going to the right, you face to the left, you just throw a bunch of them, and then you can run with them because they go forever if they don't go back into your body. So that's great. Spark is really cool looking. It's probably like Rock though. It stops your mobility. The only thing I think would be better, well, so it's Rock has the fun part of rolling on the ground. Spark cannot do that, but Spark can also hit stuff that goes into you and it hurts them. With Rock, you just sit there and it doesn't like. Rock should be D tier, but it's fun that it rolls. Otherwise, Spark is C tier. I'd say Spike is Needle is B tier. It's the exact same thing as Spark, but you could use it way better in the air. Actually, you know what? I take that back. We're gonna keep that as C. It's about the same, really. It looks, I don't know. Yeah, it's about the same. And you know what? I'm gonna put Rocket at D tier, just to separate them out. It's fun, but it's not. I'm basing this on utility and cuteness and stuff. Like, it's not the best. Ice, Ice is B tier. It's cool to yeah. It's like right with a flamethrower. It projects out in front of you, but it stops your motion and stuff like that. So it's like it's great, and you could just it's quick. It doesn't have like an activation cost like these two do, where you have to like wait for Kirby to transform. You just shoot out ice, and you can freeze stuff, and you can push that ice into other enemies, which is probably why I like it better as a B tier than a C tier. So that's all Kirby's abilities. And now we mix them. Parasol Rick, you have a lot of range above you, and there's not many abilities that like allow you to hurt stuff above you. So I'm gonna keep it as an A tier. Enough said. Burning, it keeps going, and it has better range than ice, and you're on Rick, so it's like I don't know. I think it has more up and down, has more vertical coverage too. Whereas ice is just in a straight line in front of you. Whereas this like flares up and flares down. So I think that's why it's better than ice. Boomerang Rick. Boomerang Rick is fun. He throws Kirby like a boomerang and it comes back to him. And you can move around, but aiming it and then losing control of Rick at the same time, it's not exactly the most. There aren't many places you can use it to a full advantage and then also not be getting hurt at the same time. It really leaves you vulnerable and open. But you can move around with it, which is why I'd say it's B tier rather than C tier. This probably, I think I used it once. It hits behind you, which is great for protecting your back, but that's rarely ever where you're getting hurt. So D tier. This one's super cute. It stops your motion, gives you a full 360 shield, and it turns stuff to ice, which is really cool. You just can't move while you're doing it, so that's why it's B rather than A. This is Electric Rick. It's basically Mirror Kirby or Jester Kirby, Beam Kirby. That's what it is. I love that ability. It's like my favorite from the new Kirbys. It has a great range up and down. Actually, I'm convincing myself this is S tier all of a sudden. It has great range for above you, below you, and it kills most stuff. It like even if things have like 2 HP, it'll do good against it. It's just not very good against bosses, but this is just in general for utility. Stone Rick, amazing. Super fun. What a fun power. I think probably Rick's most fun power. You can walk around on him when he's a rock. You roll with it like you would a normal rock down hills and such. The only thing is that if an enemy is like the bouncy guys will get you, you just bounce. Kirby's fully vulnerable, so that's the only thing that prevents it from being an S tier in my mind. What good coverage? Actually, this is probably one of Ku's better attacks. I'll put it up in S tier. You have great coverage. The feathers go the entire screen. You have 3 of them. They go at like 30 degrees up, 30 degrees down, and then straight forward. It's a great ability. And if you can spam it really easily. And so it's just like you just obliterate stuff in front of you. I think I use it to defeat the cloud boss, the lightning. I forget their names. I haven't been playing Kirby games much lately, so I forget the typical bosses. Burn Kirby with Kine, I'm going to label this as a C. You are invulnerable like you are with regular Burn Kirby, except for you always like go downward. You go downward and you don't go as far. So it's great, it's fun, but it's just not very good for utility. Spike Kirby, exactly the same. You aren't dragged, and Kine can actually move you around a little bit, but it's like mostly one directional, and this power blows it out of the water because it does the exact same thing as both of these do, and better because it lasts longer and you can spam it. Ice, exactly the same thing as these two guys. It's so cool. It's fun. Kirby can do like a 180 degree lower ice beam. Not at the same time. You have to aim it. I think if it was all the bottom all at the same time, I'd probably put it in here, like with the Rick. Same thing with Kine. I'm gonna put that there for the exact same reason. Kine's would take a point maybe because you freeze at the end, but that's easy to not activate if you just spam the ability button. The lightning one, that one is super fun. I'm gonna put this here actually. You shoot Kirby's down. You can't fly while you're doing it. Otherwise, this would be like S or A tier at least. But it continues to do damage. It's great against bosses. You can just spam them, especially the ones that stand relatively still or just dance in place. And then Kine Rock, why would you want to sink when you're flying? Enough said. Flame Kirby, I'm going to put this Flame Kirby and Kine. The fireball does go across the stage, which is great, but it's so hard to aim with Kine and the timing of the fireball release. It's a great power in theory, and it does work well. It's a nice powerful fire blast. It just kills most stuff. Like some things like the spark will stun, or what else stuns? I guess just other sparks. It doesn't stun, it kills it, so it's great. Cutter Kine is actually great. It makes like a little rainbow in front of you. It has great coverage. It covers your entire front end like a shield, and you can move around and spam the shit out of it. It's a great power. Trying to think it should be S tier or not. I think A tier is great. It's a really good Kine power. Kine's best power is the light bulb though. You can keep it on. You're invulnerable in front of you. Wherever the light bulb touches is invulnerable. And then you can shoot the light bulb afterwards, and then you can control when it blows up to give you a little bit more coverage on the top and the bottom. What a freaking great power. Spike, I'm going to rate it on a B because you can use it while you're swimming, and you stay in place when you activate it. Whereas these, you fall when you do it. You don't fall with Kine, but it's just like, why bother when there's like way better powers? Stone, when you're in the water, it's like, okay, great, but like you have to like unmorph, and in the water especially, there's always enemies around that just bother the hell out of you after you transform, and you don't nothing really goes into you and dies like it would be with the spike. The spike is just way better in the water in that regard, or the ice. No, that's what kind of, yeah, they're basically the same thing. This has a little bit more range though, I think, and it turns stuff into ice. Let me do that then. That's a little bit better because you don't fall either like you do with. Yeah, I think that's fair. You make it into an icicle, and then this one, Parasol Kirby with Kine, just not a very good power. I like this one just knocks it out of the park, and even in the water, the fireball does the exact same thing as the Parasol does in the water. It doesn't go very far, but it basically does this. It's just not permanently out. Right? This comes back in after a while, doesn't it? Yeah, this doesn't stay out. If it stayed out, I'd probably rank it up a little bit more. But so yeah, there it is. I think that's a good tier list for the Kirby abilities based on utility. I love this game. I'm gonna play it again pretty soon. Somebody challenged me to do a. They didn't actually challenge me, but they used challenge words to do a damageless run of Kirby's Dreamland 2, and I'm gonna do it. So this is fun. Thanks for joining me. I'm gonna happy smile this. I'm gonna rate it. All right, cool. I'm gonna share it on Twitter too. Thanks. Bye.